In 2009, Steve Harvey's career was not doing the best, and in fact, it looked like he was going to be on the decline. But Steve Harvey had one more thing to do: write a book. The name of that book was called Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man: What Men Really Think. And of course, you know who bought that book? Women. So many women bought that book and took a lot of advice from Steve Harvey. And boy, did it open up a lot of doors with women, black women in particular, and in social media and in entertainment. It made him literally all the money that he has right now. It took this guy's career to the next level. But the question is this. What did it do for the women that read the book? Rewind! Steve Harvey, again, is successful with a large female fan base. And he has a co-host by the name of Shirley Strawberry. They are on the Steve Harvey morning show, if you call that, or the Steve Harvey show. They even have a segment called The Strawberry Letter. And Shirley Strawberry is a nice lady that ended up getting herself in a bad situation. She ended up getting with this guy by the name of Earnest Williams, who's in a lot of trouble right now in Fulton County. But let's get back to Shirley Strawberry. Shirley Strawberry is the person who knows Steve Harvey very well. And if she took his advice, which is act like a lady, think like a man, we would assume that Shirley Strawberry would be able to get a man of her choice. And you would think that she would be able to do so because, hey, it's Steve Harvey. He knows a lot of prominent people. He knows a lot of guys in Hollywood. He knows a lot of black men that have a lot of money who would love to date or marry his beloved co-host. Right? But wrong. Shirley Strawberry ended up in a very bad situation with one of the worst guys possible. Again, Earnest Williams, who then ended up going to jail for some pretty egregious things. For the most part, scamming. And let's not forget when he was in prison flirting with other women, even though he was married to Shirley Strawberry.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
In this video, I wanted to bring you calls between Ernesto and Sonia, the woman in Florida. Shirley Strawberry was married to Ernesto at the time when these conversations took place. The calls speak for themselves, and I don't really know what to say to summarize things. Just take a listen for yourself.
What you look like today?
I look good today. I answered that real quick, didn't I? I look good today. You know why I look good today? Because my boy called me from Cleveland, and we're about the same age. And he was like, "You still got that six-pack?" And I was like, "Sure do." And he was like, "No, you don't." I was like, FaceTime me. And he was like, "Damn, you don't age for shit." And I was like, "Sure don't."
Damn. He asked you about that booty yet? He asked you about that booty?
He asked about my booty. I'm not known for no booty. It's always just been average, okay. It ain't never been no big thing. But.
Okay. I just want to make sure it ain't flopping everywhere.
Oh, no. You know what? It's back to normal. I got my ass back. So I got my body back. I just got to put some muscle. I was looking at this guy's Instagram. He's fat and he was kind of, in 1 year, he got a six-pack. Of course he's younger, but in 1 year he got his body like looking like damn. And I was like, ooh, let me go ahead because I'm not far. I'm just a little off. I ain't far.
Okay, well then come on with it now.
Nothing far.
I want the turkey to be fat when I get there.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm doing about 97, 98 pounds. Again, I know I'm my true weight. I just gotta put on the 10 that I always wanted, because I like to be a little thicker.
Yeah, put that 10 on, you'll be just fine. Just 10, not 15, 20. 10.
And they'll match up with these titties, right?
Yeah, because they beautiful.
Yeah, titties on point.
That cleave is something to eat off of.
Now, what all did he do? Apparently, he pretended to be a successful businessman and used Shirley Strawberry to do certain things because she was hooked up and tied to Steve Harvey. He stole property, vehicles, services, money, and goods from his targets. It also alleges that Williams used romantic trickery or intimacy, physical or emotional, to carry out these fraud-centered schemes. Now, Want to know who fell in love and married this man? Shirley Strawberry. But stop the show. He was already married to somebody else. Apparently, Mr. Earnest Williams had co-conspirators during this whole decade-plus long scheme, including some lady by the name of Erica King. Okay? We won't even get into the things that he was doing with her. But we also want to talk about this. How come she didn't know about this? Well, this is what we're going to get into, and this is what we're going to talk about. You see, Steve Harvey can write all the books he wants about women and what women should be doing and how to get to men. A lot of guys are doing that. We found that out from Derrick Jackson and some of these other guys. Actually, a lot of these guys are not serious. They will tell women anything to get their money. But ultimately, what does it lead to? It leads to women getting with men that they have to pay for. Now, let's look at Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is supposed to be this beauty queen to certain people. She's a role model. She should have all the money in the world. Who is she dealing with? Kenneth Petty. Wanna know why? Well, no man wants to take care of Nicki Minaj, even if they do have the same amount of money as her. She just won't flip the bill. Even Cardi B. Now, Cardi B has Offset, but we all know who makes the money in that relationship. Offset ain't broke, but we know that Cardi B earns more. What about Keke Palmer? Keke Palmer is actually younger than everybody on the list. But you know what? She had her first child with a guy that's not even on her level, Darius Jackson. And all of these ladies, we can say they act like a woman and they think like a man. Well, that's the problem. No man wants to be with a woman who thinks like a man and acts like a woman, because you can't act like a woman and think like a man. You have to act like a woman and think like a woman, because a man wants to act like a man and think like a man. You're not going to be able to have both. And when you want to act like a woman and think like a man, you're going to get a man that you're going to have to take care of. And then you're going to get the guys who need you, scammer guys. All right. And you're going to end up taking care of these guys. Not only are you going to end up taking care of these guys, you're going to resent the fact that you got to take care of these guys. And this is why a lot of women like Shirley Strawberry end up getting with guys who have criminal records, guys who've been to jail. And we've talked about this with Dr. Tiesan Johnson before.
It was something I noticed. I actually had a brother reach out to me, and he was talking about, he was married and his wife is a six-figure earner, and he talked about her girlfriends that would come over and complain about their husbands. And as he would talk about it, one of the things he shared with me is they had to ask for an allowance from their wives just to go hang out and drink a beer. So I was just kind of asking him some more questions about it. And one of the things he revealed is that this group of six-figure earning women were all exclusively married to brothers who were ex-cons. And if anything, they were unemployed and to some extent homeless when they met. You know what I mean? And so now they're kind of house husbands, which there's nothing wrong with if that's what works for your relationship. But the problem was the women were actually complaining about the fact that they didn't have an income, complaining about the fact that they weren't the men that, you know, that they've been idealizing since they were young. And yet these were the men that they chose, right? And so he was confused, and he reached out to me because he was asking me, why is this the case? And as I started to look into it, I realized it really wasn't a whole lot different than son husbands. So, you know, we talk about son husbands as boys whose biological mothers kind of have them play husband roles in their lives, play roles that are really, you know, inappropriate. And it doesn't have to get sexual, but unfortunately there are times where it does. There's sexual violation in regard to that. But for the most part, when we talk about son husbands, these are biological offspring that are asked to play emotionally laborious roles for mothers that usually are reserved for, you know, men. With husband sons, one of the things I began to notice is that you had well-to-do women who were employed, who were educated, so on and so forth, and who would use the rationale that there were no other options, and they would choose men that were intentionally in such a low position that those men could not offer much challenge. So in other words, they were in the dominant position in the relationship. These men depended on them for hearth and home, for income, for food, for everything. And if there was so much as an argument, those men would be out on the street.
You see, they have to get into a situation where they are literally with men that they got to take care of, and these guys are broke. And simply when they can't really deal with the guy anymore, they threaten to put the guy out. That's how it works. You don't have to agree with me in what I'm saying. That is completely fine. But that's how it happens. That's the price you pay as a lady when, you don't feel like you need to be a certain level to get to the high value guy. You don't feel like you need to change your position. You end up getting with a guy that doesn't have anything, and a guy that puts you at risk like this guy did. If Shirley Strawberry would have made better decisions in her attitude, she would have never married a trash guy like this. She'd already be gone, but she didn't. And now all of her situation is out there. She's stressed out because why? She dealing with a guy that don't love her, and that guy was using her for the fact that she knew Steve Harvey and he wanted to use her to scam other people. Now her credibility is shot. Even she was talking to him behind Steve Harvey's back. She had to apologize for that. Now she's thrown her life away and part of it away due to this mistake. So if you want to dig in the dirt and get a guy you can control, look, get ready to take care of a guy like this who probably isn't going to care about you and will use you. Value in the market towards men is not going to change, ladies, unfortunately. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shirley Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate it for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.